Tupac had it right. What was it he said? The old ways weren't working, so it's on us to do what we've got to do to survive. He was talking about drugs and race and everything in America. I'm talking about dealing with men's mental health. We think we're old school. We're dealing with it the man's way by no talking about it, internalise it, sitting in a room, scrolling through TikTok and comparing ourselves to people that look out of our league and thinking we're not worth it. We can't live up to that. We're worthless. See the old school way that men used to deal with it, when they used to just internalise everything. They had a paper that they read about football and the folk that they sat next to in the pub that they were comparing themselves to. We are now comparing ourselves to the rest of the globe. If you think your old man would be proud of you for sitting in your room greeting quietly, unable to cope with it and try to hide it, and he would class that as he's a man's man, it's old school, you're kidding yourself on. I've realised what I want to do with my platform, and I'm no Paddy the Baddie standing in a UFC ring saying, if you've got weight on your shoulders, speak out. I would rather stand next to you and talk to you through your problems rather than carry your weight of your coffin at your funeral. But what I am is just a normal guy trying to normalise men speaking about getting help with our mental health, because we need it. And trying to kid on we don't, and it makes you more of a man to no need help is like crazy. We kill ourselves with our own pride. That's wild. Your pride is your perception of yourself. At the end of the day, it's supposed to be something that you take pride in, of course. So being that proud not to ask for help and thinking it's a more honourable way to deal with things by walking into a forest with a rope or taking that much drugs, you kill yourself. There's no honour in that, there's no pride in that. We're now in different times, so the old school ways don't work. We can see that. It's pretty obvious now. We're 3 times more likely to kill ourselves than women, but women go and get help. It's normal for women to get help. Normal for women to support each other and talk about their problems. No guys, mate. No guys. So, too much pride. Far too much pride. It's obviously November, it's Men's Mental Health Week month, and I've realised I've not actually put anything out really talking about it. So I've not prepared anything, I've not wrote anything down, but as Tupac said, the old ways aren't working, so it's on us to do what we've got to do to survive. Thinking that the way guys dealt with mental health issues 60 years ago is the way we can deal with them now. Well, they weren't dealing with them then, and we're definitely not able to deal with them now. But the worlds that we live in are in completely different stratospheres. As I mentioned before, they're comparing themselves and judging themselves against the folk that sit next to in the pub or the bookies, and they read the paper about the best football players in that country probably, and that's pretty much it, maybe even the city. Now we see everything. We see the pinnacle of absolutely everything that we are interested in potentially, and the algorithm makes sure that we find that, and it puts it in front of us so that we continue to see the best of the best of the best of the best, and that becomes the goal, that becomes normal. That's like me starting to play football and thinking I'm needing to be Ronaldo or Messi to be even considered as worth anything, or I'm a MotoGP guy being as good as Rossi or Marquez to even be worth getting on a motorbike and just being a normal guy. I think it's why the bodybuilding thing is blown up. Now, I talk about bodybuilding quite a lot, but it might just be because I'm in gyms all the time, but I go to the gym to be normally healthy and live a longer, healthier life. I'm not going to the gym to try and compete and be on stage, because that's the extreme side of going to the gym. That's not the normal side of why you would go to the gym. That's an extremity. We look at extremes now online and compare ourselves to those extremes, and we never get started, because why would you? If you're aiming to be extreme, for it to ever be worthwhile, we're set up to fail straight away. So all I want to do with the content that I put out is I try and make it pretty clear that it's basic. My phrase is keep it simple because it is. Living a healthy life is pretty simple, and I'm muttering along my way trying to get towards it. I've got one massive problem in my life just now that I'm trying to deal with, and nothing else is actually perfect, but I'm trying to cope with things and I'm getting help. The whole thing, talk, but get help. But on top of that, take responsibility. We need to take responsibility for the behaviours and actions that we do on a daily basis that feed the way we feel. Now, if we feed the way we feel and make ourselves feel down, depressed, lost, unfulfilled, anxious, tired, if we feed our negative behaviours, then by the same token we can flip that and we can feed our positive behaviours by taking a bit of responsibility back. Andrew Tate, massive figure. Don't talk about Andrew Tate, right? The one thing that I've heard him say that is undeniable and I fucking love was when he speaks about depression. He says he doesn't believe in depression because he doesn't believe that depression is some magical illness that it can that everyone can catch from the sky and it's incurable. What he says is, if he stays healthy, considers his mental health, and keeps moving forward with purpose and intention in his life, then the likelihood of him getting depression, it won't happen. He will feel low, his mood will dip, but ultimately, if he continues to move in the right direction and do things that feed him personally and give him satisfaction and enjoyment in life, he won't stay in that depressed state. Depression is not a sickness, an illness that you will catch from the sky. You have a certain level of control in what you do on a daily basis that can help you. I can't remember if I mentioned Paddy Pimlet and Paddy the Baddy, but he obviously stood in the ring and he said that and everybody shared it, which was amazing, right? I loved it at the time. But then I couldn't help but think that's like a snippet and people sharing it and it gets a word out there. But in reality, that is not what happens. Men my age, people like us, we sit quietly, struggle alone. As I say, we think there's pride in that. When Ricky Hatton died recently, I remember in a group chat saying it was such a shame. He clearly struggled with his mental health. What caused that? Was it the lack of purpose after retiring, or was it too much success too soon and no the right support? And I was like, mate, have a fucking day off, get a break. And I thought, I want to push making it normal for us to speak about mental health struggles, suicidal ideation. I've spoke on videos previously, just recently, that I've been going to Andy's Man Club. I think every Andy's Man Club is on a Monday night at 7 p.m. There will be one local to you. It's no all weirdos that go to it. It's no strange folk. It's normal people that have had the bottle, probably braver than yourself if you can't do it, to get up and go and say, I want to get something off my chest. I want to speak. I need to relieve some pressure for my mental capacity. I need to talk. It's a really, really simple setup. And the good news is, when you keep things simple, you're able to stay consistent at them and they fucking work. The one thing I think we can do over and above that, potentially with Andy's Man Club, is then move it on and realise that life is difficult. It is hard, but we've got a say in how hard our life is. We are the common denominator in our life, and if we improve who we are, we can certainly have an effect and just raise that self-belief, that self-worth, that self-confidence. It'll start from the bottom, but you build it up slowly by putting yourself through challenges and taking on challenges, keeping your word to yourself. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Hormozy, I'm sure he says, confidence isn't built by standing and shouting affirmations to the world. It is built by building an unstackable amount of proof that you are who you say you are. And in this world just now, and social media and things like that, talk is cheap. We put things out there at the click of a button, and it's dead easy to do. But keeping your word and doing the difficult things for your head for your physical body. I mentioned in my wee video, if you've seen it, the life performance, L1, F3, life, but it's made up of one physical body, which is your health, and the three principles of psychology: mind, consciousness, and thought. The mind is the power behind life, that undescribable awareness that sits outside of your body, that you know is you at your core. You are not your eyes that sees it. You sense what your eyes see from this energy. You're not your hands. You sense what comes for your hands and touch. The mind is the power that sits behind it. The thoughts are the thoughts that go through your brain. You experience the thoughts come from you, but you don't own every thought that's thrown up. They're like suggestions that come to you. And consciousness is then which thoughts you then take and make them reality. The thoughts that you then act on become your conscious life. I've got a wee picture of a projector that my psychology mentor that I briefly touched on in my video that I spoke about last night, the mad guy that I sold a car to, he's not a mad guy. He was so switched on and he had simplified life down so beautifully that it keeps it simple. It just keeps you bringing back to your centre. Now, we all have bad days and we all have good days. Moods come and moods go, high and low. But we are the one in the middle that's experiencing those moods. We do not own the moods. The moods come regardless. There will be outside factors that can stimulate good moods and bad moods. But at the end of the day, we experience the mood. The mood isn't us. We experience what happens, but we can go out and change the narrative of what is happening, change the narrative of how we see it. But as I say, I wanted to put a wee video out of just sitting pretty much riffing and again normalising men looking for help, men getting help, men having emotions. Know that I'm going to sit here and greet and all that kind of thing, but in the last year I've got more than I've probably got in all the years since I was 10 or whatever. Once I stop being a wee wean that greets about anything that happens. But it's been an emotional period, and that's normal to have feelings and emotions and express them from time to time. You need to. But keep in mind that the old ways aren't working. The world, the old ways we're dealing with is not the world that we are dealing with now. So thinking that we will cope with the world that we live in just now by sitting quietly, not saying anything, internalising everything, we are in right danger of making ourselves a ticking time bomb that will explode at any point. And as I say, what I want to do with this channel is make it normal for a normal person like me, who is just a normal 35-year-old specky da for West Central Scotland, and again, white West of Scotland males, supposedly the scourge of the planet. But every time one of them dies and you see it, everybody has an outcry of emotion. Well, let's stop making white West of Scotland males the scourge of this country, because over a period of time it starts to get a bit wearing and men start to actually believe that they are the worst of the worst, the problem, and it really isn't the case. So yes, as I say, it's normal for men to want help, look for help, receive help, talk about their emotions and how they feel, process the thoughts that they don't want to process because they're too big and too rough and too tough to deal with them, and ultimately to come out the other side of a shit period, turn their life around and start helping other people to get through tough things as well. And lastly, want a better life. It's normal for us to want a better life. There's a thing in counselling called self-actualisation Carol Rogers came up with, and he believes that we are innately born with an instinct to self-actualise, which is be the best we can be if we are provided with the right conditions, which is a supportive environment and non-judgment. Now, in this country, we like to judge, we like to compare. Let's just be normal. Let's just be normal people that, we want to strive, we want to get better, and we want our own better life, but let's just stop holding each other back, hushing each other down, keeping everybody quiet and crabs in a bucket. When somebody starts doing too well, we start pulling them back down. Let's support people. Let's make it normal to support people. Let's make it normal to fucking show a bit of love and respect and tell people that we love and respect them as well. I was into my mid-30s before I could start giving my dad a cuddle when I left him, because it was weird. That was me. I'm just a wee guy. What guy for just outside Glasgow? You don't fucking give your dad a cuddle and that when you leave him. Mental. Why? Why do we have that perception? And that could just be me, but things like that, I want it to be normal to show love, receive love, think, feel, talk about your feelings, talk about what you're thinking, and not be absolutely ripped apart for doing it, because we are all worth it. We all have our place. We are all respected, loved, wanted, and we all have something that we can give to this planet. Letting our pride eat us up and take us away into a forest with a bit of rope because we are too proud to ask for help, show a bit of vulnerability, show that we've no got it all sussed out, admit that we're struggling, admit that we need help. It's fucking wild. So, as Paddy said, if you've got weight on your shoulders, then speak. But if you've got your weight on your shoulders as well, let's get you some proper help. Let's look for help and accept help. And if somebody tries to bring up or throw up a wee conversation, just bringing men's mental health to the forefront, and support it, talk about it, engage in it, because hushing it up is killing us. Genuinely killing us. And it needs to stop.